Ladies, I don't like to do a formal introduction, so we're just going to chat. So first of all, I actually was really surprised at how warm it was today. And the reason I'm surprised about that, because I saw a report in the news that said it was going to snow this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm really grateful that it didn't snow, to be honest. But in this country, you actually just never know what could happen.
Yeah, it's true.
It's actually a mad place.
I'm glad it feels like summer.
Yes. It feels, yes, we needed sunshine. We needed, just the vibes, the brightness of outside, all of the above. I think we needed it.
Although I feel like you brought a sunshine anyway. You did. Because, I mean...
Yeah, I feel like this set feels very vibrant. It makes me feel like...
just happy.
Yes. Yeah. Yellow is actually... It's not my favourite. It's actually my mum's favourite colour. It's one of my... It's growing to be one of my favourite colours. What are your... Have you got favourite colours?
Blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was so quick.
That was so quick.
Yeah, I always love blue.
Blue, any particular shade of blue?
Navy blue.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look close, there's a bit of navy in here.
Really? Yeah.
Where? a little bit. Touch.
Why? Was it a colour that you always wore as a child? Or?
Yeah, as a child, anything that
School
was blue.
uniform?
School uniform was blue. Even, like you get house colours at school.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the blue house. Yeah, anything blue, I just gravitated. And it's just always been my colour. Yeah, but now you've mentioned it, I'm going to look into that.
Where's this blue come from? Do I need to see someone about the blue?
Yeah,
that is so... Nina, do you have a favourite colour?
I used to. I mean, I love green, but I love all colours. I think colours make me really happy, and I love prints. So I would say the brighter the better. So like all shades of green. I love bright pinks, neons. Love the yellow. Yeah, I love colour.
And does that reflect in what you wear for the both of you? Do you prefer to wear, do you feel more yourself when you wear blue?
Actually, I would say yes, because you are always... There's always navy.
Yeah,
most of the time, all black.
It's close to navy.
I most of the time look like a rainbow.
It's so true, and I think since meeting you, I've introduced more colour into my wardrobe.
Yeah, and I've introduced a little bit more black and navy.
We've got similar nails.
We have.
Again.
Okay, not me. No, it's just basic.
I look like this is probably my pop of colour.
I look like all I've
me
done.
too. That's why I chose this. I wanted like an injection of something.
Colour.
Yeah.
You look like ladies who are just ready for everything, and I look like I've just been washing dishes in the kitchen.
But your natural nails always so well kept. So no, I'm not having that.
Yeah, but I'm loving the pop of colour though for someone who loves navy.
Yeah, so just when I'm wearing black, I'm still got some
colour going on. Yeah, that was me yesterday.
What about you? I know you said
my favourite colour is actually terracotta orange.
Oh, that's very specific.
It is very specific.
Not just any orange.
It is very specific. You know the colours of like Moroccan.
I was gonna say
buildings, or hotels.
Yes.
That kind of warm tagine kind of colour. I just think it looks. It immediately makes me feel like warm, and like obviously colours have different meanings. So like the not synonyms, but the relationships with orange is like optimistic, uplifting, warmth, community. When people are using those colours, even in like branding and stuff, they use those colours if they want to suggest something like that. So not only do I like it because of that definition, but I just feel like whenever I wear it, I just feel so like warm. I feel like it's quite a grown-up colour though. I feel like I never used to wear orange and those type of shades until I got older. I feel like I saw my mum wear those shades.
Because orange is a tough colour to wear. So, I think, the terracotta is something that just goes with everything.
It does.
So I feel like it's coming through in the hair.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly what I was We're loving it.
Yeah.
There we go. Nina and Ruth, take me to the beginning. How did you guys meet?
So Nina dropped out the sky.
Just like an angel.
No. Okay, so story according to me. So we both attended the same gym. And I used to see Nina at the front of the spin class because I used to sit at the back because I was quite new to the gym at that point. So.
As in new to going to the gym or going
no,
to
just
that
new
gym?
to that gym
Okay.
and new to that particular spin class because our friend Maria teaches it and it's a great class.
Maria teaches it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you need to be on your game. So I thought, I'm not going to the front of this class. I'm going to drop back. I'm going to do about 4 or 5 sessions and then after that I'm going to the front. Once I know the routines, I'm ready. At the front, So then I used to see Nina come in and she had this like short hair. It's like that kind of like short 90s crop. and it was all kind of like waving. I thought, gosh, her hair's really cool. Wow, her hair's amazing. And then, like, over time of attending the classes, I got to know just through other people, not even by speaking to her, that she had been recovering from cancer. So her hair being that short was as a result of chemo. And I was like, oh gosh, wow, gosh, what a story. So anyway, over time we just became friends. We got talking. Just
how did you meet? Who came up to who first?
So I think we were next to each other on a bike.
I think so, and I think we just naturally gravitated towards each other. Also, when we used to do the class, sometimes you could finish and then go to the gym floor and just chat or do abs, or someone would always do something.
You're right.
And we would always get talking. So I think it was probably from
the
that
gym floor sessions after the class.
And I think probably what then really sealed our friendship was a leaving do. Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You had braids.
Both. I had braids. You just had your hair done.
Yeah, like cans.
She was just
blowing in the wind.
And it was a fun.
So who was leaving?
Oh, someone else from the gym.
But we got talking and it was great. So it was a great gym because it felt like community. We would all just randomly start talking to each other, and because we all lived locally, we just all became friends. So it's actually an extended group. So Maria is in our group of friends, and then there's another friend called Chica, and we just gravitated towards each other, and it just grew and grew. There's obviously more people. It's not just us. So I'd say that's kind of like how it started. It was just very natural, just really organic, which was really nice. And Ruth's funny, I'm funny, so we were gonna hit it off.
We gotta be friends.
You make me laugh, I make you laugh. That is so, and I think that's really testament to like the importance of making friends in like-minded spaces, because you'll always have that thing to go back to as a common ground. Taking it back to more like childhood, what were your friendships like when you were younger, in your teens?
I think for me, my friendship group has always changed and evolved, and I think it's because I've never stayed in one place for too long. So when I went to high school, I couldn't wait to leave. I didn't have the best experience. I did make good friends towards the end who are still really good friends of mine. But I couldn't wait to leave. So once I finished high school, I just wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to uni and just meet new people. So I have another group of friends that I met through college, that I met through uni. Then when I moved to Hong Kong, I made a different group of friends. Then when I came back to London. So I feel like I have quite a broad group of friends. They don't all know each other, and they come from all walks of life. And I think after becoming a mum, definitely felt like I had less time to make friendships. Now that Ilani is getting older, I'm more open to friendships. I think definitely cancer has taught me that. So I'm really open to like talking to people and just making more friends. There's this thing that people used to say, as you get older, your circle gets smaller.
Yes, my aunt has told me that.
But I think that your network also expands so that you can make sure that that circle stays smaller. So sometimes you add really special people in that bring different things to your life. And also people leave. I think people forget that your circle of friends doesn't always stay the same. People change and evolve, and someone that you were really close to, you might not be close to anymore. And then other people enter your life and you think, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And you bring a different dynamic to my life. So for me, it just feels like it's fluctuated and it's changed like that. How about you?
I know the same. I mean, I moved around a lot as a teen. I mean, not because I was a bad child, but we lived in Derby, then we moved to Birmingham, then we moved to London. So with that transition, I didn't really get to keep all the friendships I probably would have had I stayed in one place. So I think the kind of crux of my friendships kind of, in terms of being long lasting, kind of stem from uni. So any friend that I kind of made at that time, I still have today. As you say, I mean, of course, people have left, but people have also come back.
Come back. We'll come back to that. We'll come back.
You press pause, you press play.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Nina says, it's, you know, you get to that kind of nucleus where you get to a certain age where, of course, you're never too old to make a friend, in my opinion. Like, I'm still excited about the friends I'm still yet to make.
Yeah.
You know, still so young in our lives to still make new friendships. But at the same time, it's just knowing that kind of core and what a friendship means. Because it's funny, as a kid, you know, you think you've got to have this one best friend. It's me and my best friend, and it's me and them against the world. You know? And then no other friends.
Nope.
But then you realise as you grow older, you've got loads of best friends. Just as you can have loads of sisters and loads of brothers and loads of siblings, you can also have quite a few best friends. You know, there's quite a few people I refer to as my best friend. It's no longer just that one soul person against the world, you know. So I think that's where I am in terms of my journey with friendships at this point. And I'm really grateful for the group I've got now. You know, I keep putting my hands like this because they're just like my little cup, my little hug mug of friends, you know. So yeah,
I think that you both said things that I think are really refreshing to hear, because I think a lot of the time I come from the view, Ruth, that you have one best friend. Like you grew up with this one best friend, and it's you and her, and then you've got other best friends, and then like everybody's kind of got a best friend in and amongst the best friend group. And I kind of grew up with that thought of having one best friend, and like as life would have it, things change, people change, situations change, etc., and that no longer becomes the case. And I remember thinking, is this best friend thing, is it actually a thing? Like, is this everybody's story? Like, does everybody actually have that one best friend? Or do people have, as you said, like a collective of best friends? And as such, I realised that I just needed to let go of that, like, constant search for, like, a one best friend, because I grew up with one. Like, and as a result of that, and even given my age now, as much as we're not best friends now, we are very cool. I saw her a couple of weeks ago, and it feels like, you know, nothing has really changed. But I think the beauty in it is just accepting that actually not everybody has that one best friend, and it doesn't make you less of a friend or less intimate in somebody's life because they don't refer to you as their like one best friend. Yes.
And also I feel like that is like an attachment, and you always have to let people kind of go and come back. And I have childhood friends in Portugal that I don't see. I could go a year, 2 years without seeing, and then I will go to one of their kids' baptism, and it takes us back to just being kids again. And they always check in on me. Does this stop her being my best friend because I don't do everything with her? No. It just means life just sort of evolves and it changes. But I did grow up thinking, oh my God, it's just that one best friend and they're my friend and you're not allowed to be friends with nobody else. I mean, sometimes I do say that to Ruth, like, where are you going? Why you made new friends? Like, you don't need no new friends. And then you have to tell yourself, well, no, this is normal. You should be expanding. You should meet new people. And yeah, and those people might come into your life just for a season and then they go away. And I guess the sign of a really good friend is that they will just always be a present and constant thing in your life. They'll always be there. And I think that's more important, I think. That is really even if they go away, because I used to think, oh, I've not heard from that one friend of mine for like months. They haven't called me. They haven't checked in on me. And I'm like, well, they're just going through their stuff. So I will call them. When they're free, they're free. When they're not, they're not. I actually have one friend like that. I won't speak to her for ages, and then we're on the phone for 3 hours. Yeah. I've got relationships like that. Yeah, I just don't think we're sometimes taught that that's friendships are different.
Like that. Yeah. You know what? You make a really valid point. I think that true sign of a friend example you just gave, I don't think I've heard anybody explain it like that before, in that person is just constantly there, and it doesn't mean they're constantly like in your pocket all the time doing everything that you're doing together, etc., but actually they're just like almost like a hum of a person that just like lives their own life, but you know that whenever the time comes you can kind of either call on them to catch up or call on them to go out, and it doesn't feel like I ain't heard from you, and it doesn't come with that. And I think that's really important. And Ruth, going back to the friends that come back, how you don't have to get into the details if you don't want to, but like how does that How does that happen, or how did that happen, and how does it feel now? And
I mean, I don't mind that. I'm sure she won't mind either, because there are you go through different things and you come to different points in life. And this one friend, she was again someone that I saw as a best friend, and we just disagreed on something one day. And I'm just I don't do drama. This is the list of things we need to do. Tick, tick, tick. Yes, no. Can you please fill out the questionnaire? Okay, then out. And we just kind of had a situation where I was like, look, this is just business.
Yeah.
This is up to you, take it or leave it. And she was like, well, I will leave it. And then that was it, we just kind of just didn't speak for like 5 years. And then we had a mutual friend who said, he's he's not been very well, and I kind of feel like he in his own journey thought like life is too short,
right.
And he kind of said, I just really think you two need to know each other. It's a shame for what you both have going on in each other's lives, that you're not friends. You should be friends, So he actually got us together. Okay. And when we saw each other, it was like no time passed.
Oh,
we both
really?
were like, oh my gosh, what have we been doing? We're so stupid.
Oh, that is... But you know what? I have to say, that is a sign of, like, experience it and let it go.
Absolutely.
Because I was expecting you to say, when I saw her, it was a bit stale at first.
Oh, no.
Or a bit, like, tense initially, and there was still like this like underlying something, and then the friend came in and said something that made everybody laugh, and then we were all happy families. But the fact that when you saw each other, it immediately was like just got back exactly as you were.
We were young, we were just ego, it's the things that you grow through in that period of being away. You realize, oh gosh, we've got we're gonna have the strongest chapter of friendship anyone could ever have.
Yes,
because we're so brutal with each other now. I could speak to someone else and be like, oh okay, I'll speak to you tomorrow, I'm a bit tired. With her, I'm like, I'm tired, bye. I don't have to filter anything. Like we just completely understand each other. So it's just different friendships, different people, and that's what makes us. I think the joy I get from Nina, no one else can bring me that joy, because that's the essence of Nina. So for me to then look for that in someone else is just ridiculous. It's not something I would do, just because now I understand the kind of recipe of friendship and just the beauty that it brings with having so many different ingredients in everyone.
I really like how you described that.
And I love the fact that the revisiting of friendships, because if you think of the amount of friendships that sometimes they end because of something so silly. So
something you can't remember.
You couldn't remember.
Exactly. And it just
that's often the case as well. People can't remember why they're not friends again.
But and that's why I think when you met up, automatically was like instant sparks all over again, because it just was something that it was just age, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. And I think as you grow, as you said, as you grow wiser, you understand that recipe.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that are in that? Because I think, I just think how you both view friendship is really refreshing. I'm not sure you realise that it is as refreshing as it actually is, because the story that you just told, I genuinely played out what you might say, and it was not that, because that's my norm of when I hear people have contention in their friendships, how that next meeting happened. I don't hear the story of, I saw you and it was like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. Like, anyway, how have you been? What's happening? Like, there isn't that like, anyway. Because I know me. Like, I know me. And like, I know that in some cases, when I've had like contention in friendship and I've seen the person again, there is a little bit of anyway. But I don't know. It could be age. When we think about like reconnecting with friends and how you can reconnect with friends and not hold on to that like tension or animosity or even just the situation, because well, both of you in your situation, Ruth, you re-entered that new friendship with such like joy. For people who, how could you encourage people to like re-enter their old friendships with joy?
I think the most important thing to first of all understand is that both parties need to be willing. And if I think if both parties go in with that open mind, then I think it gives space for that joy to really organically let the friendship kind of almost pick up where it left off.
Yeah.
But I think if you are going in there with a bit of hesitation, and it's also, it's important to understand the difference between an anxiety because you're really nervous due to everything that happened, as opposed to an anxiety just that it's just been so long. You have to really maybe just sit with it and have a conversation with yourself before you go into it. But if it is in your heart something that you actually want, I will say take the risk, because 9 times out of 10 it's likely that the other person wants the same, otherwise they wouldn't have agreed to meet. You know, but if it's something you've had to force, you know, I just really think these things shouldn't be by force. So that would be my only kind of advice in terms, and just like, life is too short. If I've learned anything with my friendship with Nina, is do not wait. You know, life is so precious, and like the friendships that you do have and you hold dear, make the most of that time, because it's not promised to any of us.
Right.
You know, and it becomes very apparent when you are almost just a watcher or a passenger of someone else's journey, you know. So yeah, that would be my main lesson in this chapter for sure.
We've made like a few like comments around Nina and passenger and life is short and said things.
Passage through life,
So just for context, for people who may not have met you before, aka living under a rock of some sort. But just for context, for like some of Ruth's comments, could you share a little bit about your own journey?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018. I had lots of treatment. I ended up doing okay, and it ended up coming back a year and a bit later. So now I am living with stage 4 cancer, and stage 4 cancer means it's inoperable, which means I am now terminally ill. There is no cure, and any treatment that I am having is purely just to buy me time and to give me quality of life so that I'm not in any pain, and I can just do things as, you know, as best as I can do. So, yeah, I've just had good scan results, so it does feel a bit like sunshine coming here. You know, after so much treatment, I've been waiting to finally get a scan that says that I'm stable, and that has come with, you know, conversation for another time, but with lots of other feelings. But I feel like I'm at that place where I am able to focus on like, okay, I've got a little bit more time, and I am very careful with time. So when we talk about friendships and things that you want to mend or you don't want to mend, how do you go into it? And I always think you go into it with honesty. I think as soon as I was diagnosed with cancer, I've learned to, if I've done something to upset someone, or if someone's done something to upset me, I feel like I can only move past it by talking about it. And if it means after a conversation that friendship hasn't recovered from it, then you know that that's it. But I think the way to go into something is to always go with an open heart.
Got you.
And with a lot of honesty, and say exactly how you feel. And if it's meant to be, it will be. And clearly, like for you, you went into it really open. You were able to, you know, each understand where the other one came from and have apologies, and then you can move past it. And then it's almost like it never happened, because you've dealt with it. So I think that's the best way to do it. And luckily you were able to do it. So that's really good.
Yeah. And how, I'm very sure that there's been countless lessons about life through journeying and living with cancer. Friendship specific, did you guys meet when you had cancer already, or did that happen in your friendship?
So we met when I was in that good period where my hair was growing back. I finished my treatment. I had my little waves going. And I was honoring not wearing a wig. And I always tried to show up to spin, even when I was going through chemo. And I just wanted to show up as I was. And I felt always really safe with that group of people in the spin class. And I could always just kind of be myself. And I think we met when my hair was just growing and I was feeling, you know, really good about myself, and I was discovering myself all over again, because that is what going through something traumatic will do to you.
Right, exactly.
And especially when you lose all your hair, you're kind of rediscovering who you are and do I like myself? There's no hair to hide behind. So you just think to yourself, oh my God, I am not as beautiful as I thought I was, because we think beauty is all about our looks, what we look like. And as soon as all the looks were stripped, I had no weight. I'd lost so much weight. I was extremely pale because the treatment will change your complexion and everything. I looked ill. And then I had to really look inside and go, okay, what makes me beautiful? And that really made me go back to some people that maybe I hurt, or maybe that I didn't speak very well. One of the things I actually did was to go and apologize to my team. So I worked as a head of design, and I always work was just like so full on. And when you're a head of, you almost have to wear a very different hat, and you have to just be quite ruthless. And once I had to stop and go through treatment, I realized how hard I pushed everyone and how maybe I wasn't a nice manager. And I had to reevaluate that and go, you know what, I didn't pay attention to maybe actually my team maybe weren't going through a very nice day. Or maybe I should have just allowed them to, you know, leave a bit earlier, or be more attentive to their needs, that maybe something wasn't right at home, because actually a work environment should be a healthy environment. So that then taught me a lot about just being really open with my friendships and just saying exactly what I feel. If someone says something that I don't like, then I find it quite hard to hide my emotions these days. You'll see it all over my face. I just, if you know, you know. So now I just kind of, I speak about it. And I think that really has helped me. Because Nina, of a few years ago, I probably would have bottled it all in. And now I try not to bottle anything in. I try to say exactly what I think, how someone feels. And I also respect when someone does the same in return. If a friend says, you know what, you were out of line. We've done this a few times where maybe I have been so absorbed in my own life and problems that maybe I've not paid attention to how maybe something might have made Ruth feel. And maybe she got a bit overwhelmed. And then she might say to me, well, this is affecting me in this way, or this is how I'm feeling, and you didn't pay attention. And this is what a healthy friendship should be, that you are able to communicate those things. And then you think, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. I need to, you know, be in check. I need to check myself, and next time I'm going to do better. So those are the things that I think I've learned. And I feel as I'm getting older, I'm learning more and more how to be like just a better person. And I think in becoming a better person, you naturally will become a better friend.
We could end there, but we're not going to. Yes, amen, yes, everything. What I have to say though, because given your circumstances and what you're living with, it would be very easy for somebody like you to put their life and their problems on a pedestal way above everybody else's. So actually becoming really blind to the fact that other people have things that they're going through. Why don't you do that?
I think because it's not all about me. And I think there's days where definitely it can be a lot, and I can't see past what I'm going through. But one of the things I often get from a lot of people, even people that I don't know, they will always say, oh, yeah, like I'll ask them, how are you? And they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm not so well, but, you know, it's nothing compared to you. And I'm like, there's no comparison. You're going through something. It doesn't make it any less important than what I'm going through. But I think that's just me, because I'm not obsessed with my situation. And I guess in my own way of thinking, sometimes I actually forget. Most of the time I actually forget I'm sick.
You do not live like a sick person at all.
I completely forget it. And I just sort of just move through it. And I have to sometimes, like, because I've had like my scan recently, there's moments of time that I do feel a bit like, oh my God. But then I will always try and find time for certain people to go, how are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Or like, let's do this. Or sometimes I actually won't say anything. I will just say, oh, should we go for a walk? Or like, oh, should we go do this? Should we go to the gym? Yeah. Just because I sense that maybe someone's not feeling great. I guess because I know how I'm feeling, I can put myself in someone else's shoes. Yeah. So I'm always conscious of how someone else might be feeling or how something could make them feel. Yeah. And I think that's a lot more important than worrying too much about my problems. Yeah. Because they're going to be there all the time. They're not going away.
Yeah. I think that's a really beautiful way of living, because I think it's so easy for somebody in your position to just like pedestal their own problems above others.
Very easy. But then I think if I did that, it would change the whole dynamics of my life, and it wouldn't make it beautiful, because I'm learning to see the beauty and the good things in my life, and I don't have room to complain about what's not good in my life. So currently the way I move is I only see the good. Like today we're out, I'm feeling good. There's a yellow wall behind me. My daughter's healthy, she's playing, she's smiling. I've got my friend next to me, you're here. So I naturally only see the good. It's almost like I absorb the good. Yeah. And I don't have time to see or feel what's not great and bad energy. So if someone is not feeling great, I naturally just want to help, and I want to ask and say, how are you? Why are you feeling like that? Or, let's go for a walk, or how about this? Or, I don't know, I naturally just want to help.
Yeah. And I think that help is a key, like, metric of friendship as well. As much as like everybody's got their different love languages, but acts of service I think is a real, it may not land in even the top 3 for most people, but in friendship, what would you say is, for both of you, if you use love languages as an example, your way that you like to receive love from friends? Is it gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation? I'll just say them just so we will remember. Because
I was scrambling.
Acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, and receiving gifts.
Okay, I would say quality time is definitely up there. And by quality time, it could be just making time to, check in on you, like 5 minutes, and say, I know you had this going on, or to just celebrate you, like you had an event, like how did it go, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then I'm definitely a touch, like I love touch. Sorry. Not like I love someone to hug me, and I love hugging people. I think that it's healthy. I think you never know who needs a hug. So definitely those two would be like my love language. I think those are my love languages. And we didn't add food in there.
Yeah, food is a big one for me.
Food, we love to eat. So we usually bond over food somewhere.
We do, absolutely. Oh, 100%. So food's number 1.
Scrap the rest.
Yeah. But then same quality time. Quality time is really important to me. I'd rather time than a gift any day. And I'd rather a memory. So I do my best when it comes to gifts for friends.
She's the best. Just saying.
I'd rather we have a memory of time and just something special that we will remember, as opposed to here's some perfume. Do you know what I mean? And also acts of service. Like I think I like that, just something memorable, even just something like handwritten. Like you're really good with like handwritten stuff. I just feel like anything that's a bit more of a keepsake, any kind of act of service in that way from a friend is something that I really appreciate.
And also within our group we have definitely words of affirmation. Like we each take a day of the week, and we have like just words of encouragement, like just words to start the day.
That is lovely.
And we all have a day.
So we have to do it. You say a word, say for example today is your day, you would say your encouragement to the group.
Basically, and it could be anything. And we all always come through with just something that just sets you off for the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
What was today's one?
So we get some days off. So you got Maria. So Maria's the boxer.
And yesterday was my day, and I forgot.
I forgot on Thursday as well.
It's
One of the week. You've got Mum Box Mondays. So, you know, she kind of relates like the kind of like analogies of boxing with life. So that will be Maria. And then you've got, so she's Boxing Mama on Instagram. Let's just shout her out. Yeah. And then you've got Chica. She does Chica Tuesdays.
Oh, I love it.
So she'll give us, yeah, it is. It's very strong, that one, isn't it? Strong on the Chica Tuesday. Yeah. And then you have Wednesday off. Okay. And then you've got Ruthless Thursday.
Okay.
And then you head over to Friday.
Oh, lovely.
You know, I come through with the vibes on a Friday. I'm not quite a DJ, but I'm with vibes.
Oh, that is lovely.
There you go.
So can you remember one, at least? One that someone, not even this week, but just one that stuck with you guys?
Oh, there's so many, but you know, we always try to just remind each other to take time to be grateful. We all actually love to be outdoors.
Yeah.
So one of the things we always say is to just go outside today, even if it's for 5 minutes, just walk, look up at the sky, be thankful. And we always celebrate each other. We always say like how amazing, how talented, how strong. And actually one of the things we don't use is like beauty, because I think that's a word that's kind of, it's a throwaway word. So we always try to start with like really powerful words, like you are kind, you are passionate, you are compassionate, and that's kind of like what we do. And when we read it, we all feel it.
Yeah.
And it just sets you off for the rest of the day, and it's really nice. And we've kept it going. Obviously, it's been a busy week this week.
But you've said that now, next week.
Next week we'll crunk it up.
Oh, I really love that. Yeah. I really love that. And in terms of if we narrow the friendship group down to just you two, Ruth, what do you think it is about Nina that makes you still want to be friends with her?
Oh gosh. How long have we got? No, well, it's just funny as you're speaking. I'm thinking, gosh, there's so much I still wanted to say. So like that. Obviously, I started in the spin class, and then I got really good, so I managed to move to the front. So then over that year, while I was at the front, it was the metaphor of her hair growing and growing and growing. And I was like, oh my God, it's epic. Like, so she's recovering, her hair's growing. Like, this is great. Yeah. And I remember it was like heights of COVID, so we were no longer in the gym. So thankfully, like, Nina's daughter's the same age as my nephew. So when we were allowed to be outside, we'd meet up outside with the children and go for walks. Yeah. And then I was like, look, like your hair's doing amazing. Like you could really inspire so many people with the journey. And she'd been documenting it, but in kind of like private in her page, which was quite closed. And through that, I think we got to kind of like work together. She started like building Fro Days, and it was just, I think, that journey alone, going through that, gave me so many reasons to think that she's amazing, because as much as her page has been about cancer and it has been about inspiring other women about cancer, maybe helping them, signpost them to charities that can help them and just somewhere to go, before cancer she was a whole person. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's the essence of her that makes me still friends with her today. The fact that she's so humble about everything she had achieved prior to cancer, being head of design, and like there was almost a men's suit on the high street that did not come through Nina. Do you know what I mean? That is how pivotal her career has been. And I think it was, I guess, the point where the cancer came back, and it was great to have started a page where, oh my God, it's going to be so inspirational. And everyone's like, rebuild your hair, your life, one curl at a time. It's going to be great.
And then boom.
Didn't think that there was the other side of the cancer actually coming back. Yeah. And I think that's when I've really seen what it means to be a fighter. Like, I love boxing thanks to Maria, but I think I like the metaphor of boxing. I like the physical aspect of me, like getting things out. It's you versus you. But the actual crux of being a fighter is sitting right here. Do you know what I mean? Like the days where...
Cry now.
No, look, I did this thing. I was sitting in my car. We can't do that thing. We're like, cut the tape. Okay, let's laugh off the tears. And then
it's a safe space. It's also a safe space.
Safe space going out to how many people? So I think that is the kind of essence that I think for me, that there are days where I'm like, I'm not going to the gym today, and I go, Ruth, have you moved? Have you moved your body today? And I'm like, yeah. But if she's moving, why am I not moving?
Yeah.
You know, I really actually don't have an excuse. So there's so many reasons, you know, and on that note, I don't know if you want to move on to Nina.
Oh, I tell you, Ruth has been an absolute, like, this is one of the reasons I love Ruth. She always comes with good energy. I think our energy matches, but she's just been just such an angel, honestly. At times when I probably didn't see things, she saw them. And she gave me all the encouragement to like, go do this and you will give lots of people hope. And I was like, I don't know, really? And she really, I think she is that friend that will always lift you.
Yes.
Like you will always be lifted in her presence. And as much as she's saying she kind of feels like, oh, I'm a fighter and she has no excuse, I sometimes also feel the same. She gives me exactly the same the other way around. It's like, oh, I've got no excuse. Like I can achieve anything. It's almost like I can do anything. And and she will always push for her friends to have the best, to do the best. And you always know that in a room, she will always have my back. She will always celebrate me in a room that I'm not in.
Yes, that's so important.
And those are really the things that you want in a friend. She will always represent me because I will always represent her. And she's just given me a lot of peace, because I think when you have good friends and people around you, it just gives you this sense of calmness. And at times when I might not be feeling too great, like I will always be able to share openly with Ruth. Like I could always tell her it's really not a good day, like I'm feeling like this. And she has a very beautiful way of listening. And she never compares it or says, oh, I'm also having a really bad... Like, she will always...
Misses me too. Oh, yeah, by the way.
And, you know, there's a lot of people that do that. And she will always listen really carefully. And she will always, like, make time. And she will drive by and, like, right, let's go for a walk or let's go for a drive here. And sometimes I know that she knows I'm not having a good day and she will naturally just do something to just sweep me off the floor. And that's been really magical. And I think it's been nice to be able to actually do stuff. You know, she's just as much as the creative as I am. So actually collaborating and doing stuff together has been just really a beautiful way for our friendship also to evolve. And I love that she's doing really well in her own right. And you know, things are taking off and she's doing what she loves and she is her own boss and she's taking charge of her own life. And it's really beautiful to just see your friends do well. And those are all the things that I love about her, because we bond over just energy, good energy that then just gets us to just lots of different places, and we're always laughing.
Yes, that is so very true. I will admit that. You guys,
we are always...
If you haven't laughed in the 5 minutes I've seen you,
you know something is wrong.
Not quite right.
We are just always laughing. And I think for me that's one of the most beautiful things you can have with any kind of relationship. You need to be able to laugh, because I just want joy in my life.
Quality.
And there's many more. I mean, I could stay here and I'm trying to hold it together so I don't cry.
No, you're so good at holding it together.
I didn't bring my makeup bag.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm trying to keep my makeup.
It's always moving out. And we went to a breast cancer now fashion show last week, and there were these amazing women that were walking the catwalk, and oh god, it got me. And I was like, Ruth, hold it together. And I just, I was a mess. And then Nina was like, Ruth, just hold it together. How do you hold it? What does that mean? What does that even look like?
Can't do it. Yeah, that's me. I am definitely a cry for sentiment and I cry for joy. If someone does something so nice, I often am like,
oh my gosh, well remember when Nina completed the Sahara trek and you were on FaceTime?
So embarrassed.
You were crying before me. I thought, yes. I think I might know what it means to hold it together.
And you see, she's one of the first people that I was on the phone as well. And as soon as I spoke, I was just like, it was just tears everywhere. And then laughter.
Absolutely.
And you want people that celebrate you. And my friends celebrate me. I feel like I've got a good circle of people. Ruth always celebrates her friends.
Yeah.
She's very thoughtful. She always comes up with like fun and interesting things to do. She makes you like open a gift and go, oh my God, did you really do this? That's Ruth.
Yeah.
You know, acts of service. I think if there was one way to describe her, I think that would be a key one. I don't think I've met someone who goes to the trouble of doing the acts of service that Ruth does. There's very few people that do it, and she really goes out of her way for everyone, you know. I've seen her do it for many friends, and I always thank her mum for it.
That is honestly, that is so lovely, and not to provoke any more tears, but I do have something else I would like to. Okay.
Let me get a break.
The steroids are keeping me going. This is why I can't cry, but I'm getting really hot. It's all the drugs.
Guys, just for context, if you clicked here,
the drugs are chemo drugs and steroids. Those are the kind of drugs, kids. Those are the drugs. Those good drugs are keeping me alive.
Yes, there we go. What if you could, in a more concise way, to reserve your emotional capacities? What's one thing that you think Nina needs to embrace about herself more? One thing she doesn't know about herself that you really wish she really knew or she really believed. Is there anything that you think?
Do you know what?
That's a really good question, by the way. Good exercise.
I guess, do you know what? This one probably won't make me cry. I just think because the journey that she's been on with social media has definitely been organic.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just had to like change direction and you kind of go with the flow, which has been so beautiful because I think in Nina's journey, I don't think I actually even thought in kind of like collaborating and partnering on some of the stuff we've done. It would mean that Nina would introduce me to guys like you and, you know, open new doors for myself that I didn't even know were possible. But then I guess, you know, the message and almost her purpose is to almost help and guide other people. But what I'd guess for me, what I'd really want her to lean into is the fact that she is such a strong content creator. I really want her to just lean into that more because I think her gift as a designer is something that I think for Alani and for everybody around her, we need to understand like the magnificence of how her mind works. You know, like when she went on safari, like you know, half of what she captures is not even out yet. You know, and it's just the way in which she captures content, the way in which she story tells, the way in which like she captures that emotion.
What do you think Ruth should lean into more? What do you think the skill is that she has that you just wish she knew, or the part of herself that you just wish she embraced more?
There's many.
Okay.
Because she is so amazing and I don't actually think she sees it most of the time. And she has this amazing way of just like bringing people together, things together, curating things. She's got a great eye, and I just wish that you could see like what I see. And I mean, I tell you this all the time anyway, because when you're putting your stuff together, I'm always telling you how amazing it is and how much you should celebrate it and embrace it. And also just how beautiful you are. I know we were trying to not use the beautiful word because there's like so many amazing words that I can use to describe you, because you are brilliant, you are magnificent, you are kind, you are compassionate, you are a million things, but you're so beautiful. Like you are like inside and out. And I really honestly wish that you could see what I see. And anything you touch, you just add your little magic to it.
Definitely.
And those are the things that I wish that you could move through the day seeing, like just how amazing you are.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Just
Okay,
all the touches you add to everything. So you take that. But you know it. I do this a lot. I always tell Ruth, like, you know how amazing that was. You did that so well, and that was so good. Because sometimes I don't think she realizes how good something is, or she'll be doubting herself. So I feel like I have to tell her so she sees it and she knows it. But I want her to lean into it. So when I'm not here, I want her to know how good and amazing she is, and she shouldn't doubt herself. And I think if something scares her, the more she should go and do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good advice. Thank you, Friday. Especially for
Happy
me.
Saturday.
That is lovely. That is really, really lovely. And I think that speaking into your friends and like speaking life into them, and not only when they've like done something, but just generally, it's just so important. So I know that we had this as part of this conversation, but I think for me, it seems like something that happens in your friendship group all the time. It sounds like something that's like a part of the fabric, a part of the furniture, in terms of like we affirm each other, and we always make sure that we hold space for each other, and always make sure that everybody feels seen and understood and recognized, and no one feels more superior, no one feels like anything like that. And I think it just feels like you have such a rich friendship group. Wow.
Oh, we do. Thank you. We really do. And we do celebrate each other all the time, and we feel very safe. And it's a really special thing to have. And look at me, like I'm to get into my 40s to find this. Because every group of friends you've got, they bring something different. It's not to say that they're not amazing in their own right, but I think when you have friends that they can just sense that something isn't right, so they come for you. Like these girls are like, there's been moments where they just showed up at my house just to lift me, groups, you know. So that's the quality, and it shows. I think.
No, definitely. And if I've got a few more things, but I'm gonna reel them back. I want to do a random thing.
Okay.
But just to close on like friendship in particular, if you were to finish the sentence, friendship to me is.
Friendship to me is.
I am friend.
Means me. Does Ruth mean friend?
Ruth means friend. Yeah, that's what it translates into. Yeah. Wow. So I just take it as my purpose, and it's really important to me to show up as a friend.
And you live in your purpose, my friend. You really do. You live by your name.
What language is it from?
Hebrew. So the name Ruth in the Bible.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, wow. So your name actually means friend.
Yeah. There we go.
That's lovely. That is really lovely. And I think now knowing that, it's making a lot more sense. Everything's making a lot more sense.
She lives by her name.
Yeah,
100%.
Literally. Wow.
Yeah. Your mum knew what she was doing.
She did.
She's like, I'm going to make a friend.
Her
name is going to be Ruth.
Literally. Wow. And Nina, friendship to me means?
Friendship to me is, or means, I guess, unconditional love. Just love in general, in everything, because that's what I feel. You know, I think if you have good friendships, it just makes you feel loved and supported. One of the things, actually, when you go through therapy, they always try to make sure that you have a good circle of friends, and there's a reason for it, because in a way friends give you purpose and meaning and love. And so for me, I think that's really what friendship means. It means like love.
Yeah, I love it.